Welcome into KSU Nation, the best K-State and Big 12 podcast out there. I'm Stevie B.
And I am Kenny G.
We're doing Big 12 picks, week 12. Kenny, got some pretty good games up on the docket. I don't know how they can top last week, man, but make sure everyone likes, subscribe, tell your friends, and consider joining the channel as well. We got one channel member. Shout out CR Grand, baby.
Yeah, honestly, this guy is such a legend. You know what, Steve? I got a couple things I want to say about CR Grand, okay?
Let's hear
it. Just a couple things. CR Grand doesn't merely walk into a room, okay? Rooms rise to attention when he enters. Okay? They say that perfection doesn't exist. That's only because they have not met CR Grand.
I like it.
Here's one more, Steve, and I'll let you take over. Actually, I'll give you a couple more because these are kind of good. Superheroes don't save CR Grand. Okay, he lets them clock out early. I saved that one for you because you're a comic book guy. Then you know what? CR Grand is so cool. Ice Cubes ask him for pointers.
Oh my God, I love that, dude. That is freaking hilarious.
We're doing a bit of glazing for CR Grand here because he is our very first channel member. Look, if you guys want a bit of glazing yourself, you know what to do. Follow CR Grand's move here. Just follow his lead. Don't be shy. He's broken the ice, so to speak. He's what? How does it say again?
I don't know.
Broke the seal. He broke the seal.
He broke the seal, baby. He's the first one to join the nation, KSU Nation.
That's right.
If you guys want to, jump on the bandwagon as well, it's just $1.99 per month to support us, support this channel. We'll do some channel member only chats and live streams and all of that. So without further ado, Kenny, it is week 12 in the Big 12. Let's get right into our picks.
Yes, absolutely.
First up, Kenny, we have Arizona traveling to Cincinnati. Cincinnati favored by about a touchdown, over under 56.5. Pretty great way to start off the weekend, Kenny.
Yep. This is actually a really exciting game. I think Arizona is slightly underrated right now. I think people don't realize, but they have the most efficient defense in the Big 12, which is kind of amazing if you think about it. So I think Arizona, this is actually kind of a sneaky game against Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati might get upset here. We already kind of talked about how they might be on fraud alert, but they only really lost to Utah, and it was in Utah, so that could play a factor, obviously. And it was nighttime, so that was a rough setting for Cincinnati. But Brandon Sorsby's been playing really well, and he's a really good quarterback this season. And I think if Arizona wins, it will have to be solely on the backs of their defense. But if I'm being honest, I do think Cincinnati is going to come out with a win. I don't think Arizona's offense is really there. I mean, Fafita hasn't been looking amazing lately, and so I'm just going to go ahead and say Cincinnati wins this. I'm going to go ahead and give them let's give them 33, and I'll have Arizona around the 21 mark, maybe
33-21. Okay,
yeah.
I dig it. I think you're right. I think you're right there, man. I think that we don't know, quite how good Cincinnati really is. I mean, they are still in the Big 12 title hunt, but I mean, if you look at the teams that they beat, I mean, KU, Iowa State, UCF, Oklahoma State, and Baylor. And they finally had a good test. College game day was there. They got annihilated at Utah 45-14. According to PFF, they had the worst defensive line in the Big 12. But, you said it, man. They have a pretty good quarterback. I think Brendan Sorsby should be, in the running for the Heisman. He has 21 passing touchdowns, 8 rushing for a total of 29, 2,000 passing yards, another 450 on the ground. I mean, that's pretty good through 9 games, man. I mean, that's pretty darn good. Barring a late interception against Nebraska, I mean, they'd be 8-1 and, maybe even in the top 15. If they went out, they're in Arlington, but to win out, they're going to have to beat Arizona, BYU, and at TCU. It's doable. It really is doable. I'm not quite sure their defense is up to the task, but I think their defense will be good enough to win this week, Kenny. I like what you're saying, man. I think I'm going to go. I think Arizona's defense is pretty good. I'm going to go 27 for Cincinnati. We'll go 17 for no, let's go 27-24. Cincinnati wins.
Now I will say Cincinnati's fate does not necessarily lie in their own hands. They do need a loss from Utah to guarantee if they win out. They would still need a loss from Utah to get to Arlington based on the current tiebreaker rules.
That's not true. They have one loss and Utah has two. If they went out, they're there.
I'm saying
that would be them beating BYU, giving BYU 2 conference losses. Cincinnati has 2 losses overall, but only 1 in the Big 12.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I read that wrong. You're right. I think they do get in if they just win out. So yeah, I think it is.
We'll see what happens, but I don't see that happening either.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a tougher road because it will be interesting to see. I don't know.
Moving on. Where is this? I think we should skip the K-State game. We'll come to that last because we got some stuff we want to talk about with that. Moving on to West Virginia at Arizona State. Arizona State favored by 10.5. Over under 47.5. I don't know about 10.5, Kenny. I do not know about that considering, the Mountaineers are surging right now. What do you see here in this game?
Yeah, this is tough, Steve, because they did win a game against Iowa State with their backup quarterback, and it was kind of strange. You're like, holy smokes, I did not see this coming. Sam Levitt being out, and there's still a lot of fight in this team. There's a lot of pride still in this team, despite all the injuries that they've been dealing with. And West Virginia, on the other hand, started out really rocky. They lost some people due to injuries. The running back right off the jump, basically was out for the season. And but you said it right there. They're surging. They're starting to look good. They took a game off of Houston. That was a shocker. And then they won another game. They won back-to-back games. So shout out to them. Now, what does this really mean for them? Who knows? But I think now that they've won these last 2 games, that they could possibly get to a bowl game. And I think maybe that's what they're trying to go for here. It's also, it's in Tempe. Never mind. Okay. So West Virginia is going to have to make the long haul out there. Those Sun Devils, despite the fact that they have lost their quarterback, Jordan Tyson's been hurt, and they can still also make it to the Big 12 championship game.
Yes, sir. They can.
They're also in the running. So there is a lot to play for. I'm sure the fan base is going to be hyped for this because Kenny Dillingham, don't look now, but Arizona State is now a legit program. I literally believe that. They're not just a team that is just kind of there. I think he's made, obviously they're defending champs, but I think it wasn't just a fluke. You know what I mean? It's not like last season was just a fluke. I think Kenny Dillingham has actually made this team a contending team. And look, they're the only team that has beaten Texas Tech. And that's really insane. That's a hard thing to do, as we all seen this season. Texas Tech is legit. They might be one of the best teams in the country. So, give Arizona State some props. Even though Sam Levitt is out, I still think Arizona State has the advantage. A 10-point advantage, like you were kind of weren't really sure about that. I do agree. I don't think it's quite that much. Arizona State's won a lot of close games. And I think I'm going to go the trend of it being a low scoring game and then give me Arizona State winning maybe by a field goal. So let's go 2017.
You kind of said everything there about Arizona State. That was good, man. That was a really good breakdown by you.
Thanks, Steve.
They really have a chance to, make it to Arlington, finish 9-3 in a regular season. Their defense last game at Iowa State, they only gave up 336 yards. They had 467 by themselves. Quarterback rushed for 228 yards, 2 touchdowns, passed for another, had another taken off the board. I mean, I think he's getting more comfortable, man. Sims is looking pretty good at QB for them. They got to get better on third down. Now, last game, 5 of 15. But they are kind of a conundrum, man. They really are. If you look at them, I mean, they beat Texas Tech on both sides of that. On the front side of that, they lost 42-10 at Utah. On the back side of that, they lost at home to Houston 24-16. I mean, they are a weird team. And then they come off and, you went at Iowa State 24-19. I mean, it's kind of weird, man. It really is. They're coming off of a bye. I want to say that they're actually going to cover because they're looking pretty good on offense.
Yeah.
They look pretty good in their last game, but they are such a conundrum to pick, man. I mean, They barely beat Baylor. They had to come back from 17 down against TCU. They lost, with less than a minute to play at Mississippi State. I mean, they're a good team, but man, you never know what you're going to get from them. You really don't. And I do think West Virginia is surging right now. Let's go. I think the Arizona State defense is good. Let's go 27-17, not covering the spread. Lower scoring game.
Okay.
Arizona State wins, obviously. Moving on.
Yeah.
Texas Tech coming off of the emotional home win against BYU, favored by 24.5 against 4-5 UCF, who put up a big fight, honestly. A pretty nice home fight against Houston. Kenny, how do you see this game going, man?
I mean, Texas Tech is literally coming off of like a 7 games. This is like, I think their 7th game in a row, like they haven't had a bye in 7 weeks. And so obviously not an opponent that is necessarily a danger, but in the Big 12, anything can happen, right? It would be devastating to the league if UCF made this an upset. I don't see that happening. I think Texas Tech is locked in. They have not let anything other than the small blimp on Arizona State, on the Arizona State game. And let's just be honest. Sam Leavitt is a dog, and he really carried that team across the finish line. But if I'm being honest, I think Texas Tech, they take care of business. UCF, as much as I love Scott Frost, I love what he's doing. And he's got that team continuing to fight, as much as he can in this, day and age with the transfer portal and kids redshirting and all this stuff, and him trying to build a program back. Anyway, despite all that, I think Texas Tech goes in, gets their job done. I mean, they're at home, right? And so this is, the fan base is hot right now. Okay. They're extremely hyped. They finally have a team. It's been a long time, really long time since Texas Tech has had this much this much like respect from the ESPN nation, all that stuff. And so and for them to, continue to ride this wave. I mean, they just have UCF. They go on a bye week. They come back. They play West Virginia. I mean, this is like, the hardest part of their entire schedule is done. It's just basically just taking care of business these last couple games. And so, look, Texas Tech, they haven't let any team really score more than 20 points on them. I mean, K-State and Arizona State are the only ones that even had that accomplishment. So I can't see UCF scoring any more than maybe like 7 or 10 at the most. So give me UCF 7, and I'll have Texas Tech. You know what? I don't think all their starters will play the whole game. I think Texas Tech will probably seal this up in about 3 quarters. So give me like 35-7.
I think that's a great score, Kenny. I think it really is. I think the bye week late in the season is actually good for Texas Tech. I mean, you get that bye week right before you go on a road game to finish out the regular season, and then you're playing in Arlington. Because let's be honest, I mean, they're not going to lose to a team at UCF who lost at Baylor 30-3, who lost at home to KU. I mean, they're not losing this game. It's how much are they going to win by?
Yeah.
And I think their defense is insane. You said it already. They've only gave up 20 plus to 2 teams all season. And both of those were on the road. And one of them was definitely not UCF. What kind of offense are we going to get from Texas Tech in this game? Are we going to get a good Baron Morton or hurt Baron Morton. I don't know, man.
I think you gotta. A part of me wants to say maybe you give him some more rest. Again, the hardest part of the season's over. You still want to go out there and play and give it your best. You don't want anybody to come and snatch the jaws of the jaws of victory away from you.
Right.
But again, I think you are if you're Joey McGuire, you see these next couple teams you got to play, and you got a bye week in there. I would try to get as much rest as you can on Baron Morton with that hairline fracture. If that means going to Mr. Concrete Pourer himself, do it, man. I mean, do it. He was able to pull it off against Oklahoma State. Not saying UCF is anything like Oklahoma State, but hey, we saw him in there. And look, I think you got to play smart here, because you're not just thinking about just getting to Arlington. I think you've done enough this season to at least get yourself. I mean, you're already the favorites to get to Arlington, but now I think it's more about getting ready for the college football playoff, because that's where you need to be at your highest point. That's my opinion. And so, yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
I agree with everything you just said, man. You broke it down really well. The running back is less than 150 yards away from 1,000. I think he gets there in this game. I don't think UCF's run defense is anything to write home about. Shout out Dylan Edwards, former K-State running back who torched him. I think that Cameron Dickey's going to do the same in this game. And, we talked about, Baron Morton not being the best quarterback, but I mean, he's still like right at 2,000 passing yards, just 30 yards under, and he's missed a lot of time. And I do think you're right. I think you try to rest them as much as you can in this game. Get the run game going. Get some safe passes going, because they're not going to score against your defense, man. Just play to win the game. I'm going to go. Let's go 28-7. 31-7. I think 31-7 is a safe score. I think their defense will get four turnovers forced in the game as well.
Yeah, I mean, also too. I mean, you got to also save your defensive players too. I mean, they got it. So I wouldn't mind. But also they're extremely deep there as well. It's not like they're short-handed on defense. I mean, but I'm just saying get some reps in for the guys that don't normally start. And then, because again, these next teams, they're not a huge threat. And so I think just kind of like how they handled, the week before K-State, where they rested Baron Morton. They knew they didn't have to play him against Oklahoma State. They rested him. So that way he could be ready to play these next, the next two important games, K-State and BYU. I say you do the same thing again, and give him as much rest as you can, so he can be healthy for the college football playoff, because he's going to need to be.
Yeah, really quickly, one last thought on this game. Texas Tech has got the third best scoring defense in the country, going up against a 69th best scoring offense. And that's with most of their scoring coming against, North Carolina A&T and a terrible North Carolina team. So
yeah,
it's not going to be close. It's not going to be close. And, I'm excited to see what Texas Tech does the rest of the season, because I think what they do, is really beneficial for the rest of the Big 12. They're holding the banner, man. They're holding the banner for the rest of the Big 12. And I think they look great. They jumped up to number 6 in the CFP rankings as well, man. And I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah, it's a good thing for the Big 12. It's a good thing for this conference, and it's a good thing for Texas Tech. I mean, gosh, they've been in the Big 12 since '96, right? Mm-hmm. And they really haven't won a title. They haven't really made any waves. I mean, they've had some really good players come out of there. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Michael Crabtree. They've had some great players come out of this program, but they just haven't been collectively as a team been able to cross that finish line. Like K-State, like Oklahoma, like all the teams that found success. Baylor, TCU in recent history. So to see them finally like come together and watch it, I mean, it's like a long time coming. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
And I'm happy for the fans. They're loyal fans. I mean, they do some cool stuff. So anyway, yeah, all that to be said, that I hope they just take care of business these next couple of games and then do the Big 12 proud. Okay, that's all I can ask for.
Absolutely, man. Moving on. Is this a
Right.
sneaky game, man? Utah playing at Baylor. I don't know how big of a crowd we're going to get at McLean Stadium. It doesn't feel like we ever get a big crowd outside of, when they
Yeah.
played the Auburn first game of the season. Utah still favored by 7.5. The over under is 60.5. Kenny, what do you make of this game, man? Utah needs to win out to get any chance to go to Arlington. And
Yeah.
still, they have they're on the outside looking in at the CFPs, man. What
Yeah,
happens
that's
in
right.
this game?
Yeah, I think not only do they have to win, but they also need to win in the same fashion that they've been winning when they do win games. Steve, I called you earlier today and I said, "Yo, there's a statistic when Utah wins their games, they are winning by 32 or more points, which is wild." And so if they win their next 3 games, they need to win them very convincingly so that way they're whatever it would be, what the 10-2 record, their 10-2 record, not even they wouldn't even be playing in the that is assuming BYU and Texas Tech going to the Big 12 championship game rematch. Utah would still be able to go to the college football playoff, not having it would be like the SMU treatment kind of, right? Like they would
Yep.
just get in based on their record and like how well they performed against these other teams. I mean, dude, it is wild how good they are when they win their games. That being said, yeah, Steve, I'm a little worried because I think every game from here on out is a sneaky game. These are not pushover teams, right? They're always Baylor is like you could never count them out, right? Even when they look like they're down and out, they could come out and win. K-State, they also took Texas Tech to 4 quarters, right? They got K-State after this game, and then they got KU, and KU could have one of those random games where Jalen Daniels punts the ball, it bounces off a helmet, and and then somehow you like ask BYU, right? Ask BYU. Maybe that happens to Utah. We don't know. And that's the thing is that sometimes, like if it was Utah playing West Virginia, Oklahoma State, and like Colorado, then you're like, okay, yeah, they're good. Like I have full confidence in that. But because they're going against teams that do have really talented pieces on their roster, I'm a little weary, right? But I'm not so weary that I don't think that Utah should win this game, and I think they are going to win this game. I'm going to predict that they're going to win this game. But I'm just saying, if they lost, it wouldn't be like a total like mind explosion. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'll say this: Utah, if they're going to win, they haven't proven me otherwise, Steve. They're going to win by 30 something points. Okay, so I'm going to say Utah wins 45-10.
Yeah, I think they're going to dominate this game, Kenny. I was just looking at their stats right now. They're fourth in the country in third down offense. They are third in the country in rush offense. They were sixth in the country in pass defense.
And what is Baylor bad at, Steve? They're bad at rushing defense.
They're just bad on defense as well. Yeah, Utah's sixth in the country in passing yards allowed, 16th in total defense. I mean, I know that Baylor beat UCF 30-3. I don't think their defense is that good. We've seen them play all season, right? Like they were very, very, very lucky to beat K-State. Very lucky. And K-State's 4-5. You know what I mean? And I think you are absolutely right, man. I mean, when Utah wins, they win big. The stats show they should dominate this game. It shouldn't be close, man. They should be able to run up and down the field, stop whatever Baylor is doing. I think Utah's a pretty good team. I mean, they're going to get into, I think they have a chance to get into the CFPs, back their way in, kind of like Ohio State did last year. I mean, think about it. Ohio State won a national championship last year.
Yeah.
They didn't play in the Big Ten championship. Who was it? Right. It was Penn State and Oregon, right? And they ended up winning the whole thing as like the 8 or 9 seed. You know what I mean? And so,
wouldn't that be, how crazy would that it would be, literally be like history repeating itself. Utah losing to their biggest rival, like Ohio State did, not playing
by 3 points.
Yep, by 3 points exactly, and then coming back into the college football playoff and then winning the whole thing. If that happens for Utah, what a wild coincidence, right? So,
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna buy everything you're selling with Utah. After looking at the stats, it's insanely good. They're a very, very, very good football team. I'm gonna go something like, let's go 48-10. 7. I think they're pretty darn good, and I think they're playing really well right now. I mean, you look at their schedule. I mean, they are what they've won 2 straight. They 45-14, 53-7. Yeah, they're on a roll. They're on a roll. And outside of the BYU loss before that, they won 42-10 and 48-14. I mean, they are on a roll right now on offense, man.
Yeah. Yeah. They've got a great offensive line, and that's, they just run all over the place. I mean, when you got the dudes up front, it can create a lot of havoc. And so, we already know Baylor does not have a good defense. So
No.
I believe Utah's going to do whatever they want on offense again. So, yeah.
Definitely 7.5 points. Oh my gosh, dude. That is about as dumb as BYU being favored by. Oh, it went down to 3.5, Kenny. It was 5.5. BYU favored at home only by 3.5 against TCU at nighttime. What?
Yeah.
I do not know what to make of this line. That feels like free money to me, man. Free money.
There are two things that you must point out when you're talking about this game, and you already mentioned it. It is at Lavelle Edwards Stadium, okay, and it's at nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
Kickoff is at 9:15 at night. How in the world could you possibly put BYU as a 3-point favorite at nighttime in their stadium? That does not make any sense to me, Steve.
No.
It's weird. I think I don't know, man. What is Vegas talking about here? I think they're glazing Sonny Dykes a little bit too much. I saw TCU didn't even look that good, man. They did not look that good in last week at all. I mean, it's just. They lost to Iowa State, and Iowa State is really like struggling. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's totally weird to me. Like, I don't know where the confidence in TCU is, but BYU, I think maybe it's just because they lost the big emotional game against Texas Tech. But I think if you're Kalani, you're telling your players, look, guys, we'll get them back in the Big 12 championship game. Shake this one off. Let's take care of business, and we'll get them back in a couple weeks. That's what I would be saying if I was their coach. And you know what? If I'm a player in that locker room, just be like, I'll get them back next time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't think you're gonna really, you're like, okay, yeah, they got us there. They were at home, they got us, but we'll be ready next time. We'll be ready next. So I think it shouldn't be that much of a mental disadvantage, you know what I mean, after that loss against Texas Tech. They're a good team, and there's a lot of respect there. BYU fans, I think they'll be hyped for this. They're going to always show up and show out, as they always do. And so yeah, I just think BYU wins this game a little bit bigger than 3 points. So let's go ahead and get it. Let's do the scores here. Give me 27 BYU, TCU 14.
Okay. I like it. I mean, they're both in the top 50 in, total offense, and BYU's definitely got a way better defense.
Yeah.
BYU's playing at home. I mean, I just looked up the availability report for this game. I think a lot of BYU fans, and us too, obviously, we were watching the game. We were worried that Parker Kingston may have broken his arm late in that game at Texas Tech, and he is not on the injury report at all. He's not on availability report at all. Which tells me that he should be good to go. I'm assuming he had some x-rays done. They came back negative. He should be playing in this game. Him and, Chase Roberts, two of the best receivers in the entire Big 12. Great running back, LJ Martin. I mean, and we talked about it all season, man. I mean, Josh Hoover is a good quarterback, but he's not a great quarterback. If you can pressure him and get him off his first read, he panics, man. And they did not look good last week at home. You already talked about it against Iowa State. I mean, they had a lot of yards, but not a lot else, man. Not a lot else. And BYU is looking to bounce back after playing bad at Texas Tech. I mean, 3.5. I mean, what the hell are we doing at this point? You know what I mean? ESPN gives BYU a 74% chance to win this game. I'd put it higher than that, man. I'd put it like 85%, man. There's no way they're losing this game at home at nighttime. What?
Yeah, I think that they are overestimating the loss of
Agreed.
how much it impacts this team. Because again, if they lost at home, maybe it'd be a little bit more of an impact because all the fans were there and they still lost, but they were away, and also Texas Tech's a good team. And again, you and I both agree that it could potentially be, most likely, if the favorites of all these games play out, it's going to be BYU, Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship game.
Yep.
And again, like I already mentioned, BYU's coaches and their coaching staff and now everybody in that building should just be like, guys, look, shake it off. We learned a lot. We're going to come back more prepared. We're going to beat them in a couple weeks. Like that's what the message is. And all the guys in the locker room should be like, yeah, that one's stung, but we'll get them back. Like when you know that you have a chance to get them back, it almost makes you more hungry, right, to win the next one, because then like what's ahead, and you can prepare for that, right? So that it's almost like they got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. You know what I'm saying?
I think they're pissed off and embarrassed by losing by 3 touchdowns. I mean, when you look at their offense and what they did, I mean, it's embarrassing what they did, what they put out there. And Texas Tech will do that too. Texas Tech will do that to about anyone. I mean, even K-State. I mean, K-State put up 20, the second most all season on them, and K-State still lost by 3 touchdowns. You know what I mean? And I think you said it best like a couple weeks ago. We were talking about this. Would you rather lose close or big? And I think I'd rather lose big because then you're more pissed off versus if you lose close, then you might let the next one get you as well because you're still feeling bad for yourself. When you lose big like that, you're embarrassed. You're pissed off. You're ready to go back out there and play your best football. And you're playing at home against a team that you're only favored by 3.5 against. I don't understand it at all. I think this is going to be a big bounce back game from Bachmeier, Martin, Roberts, Kingston. I think they're going to look really good. Their defense, I mean, they only give up 2 touchdowns, and one of them was barely a touchdown against Texas Tech. The rest were all field goals. And I mean, I don't know what you're expected to do anyways after a couple of turnovers and how much they were on the field in that game. Give me BYU. Let's go 35-14. I think
I think the way that you play this game for BYU is the same. It's the same strategy as you've been playing all year. Have possession of the ball, longer than the other team, and just chip away. Bear Bachmeier can take some hits. He's a big kid, and he loves to run, put his nose down, and like just drive the ball. Giving him the opportunity just to like put the ball in his hands and run up the gut and create plays and throw the ball here and there. But I think keeping the ball out of TCU's hand, keeping their offense off the field. Then when their offense is out there, BYU just shuts them out, 3 and out, make them punt, whatever, turnover on downs, whatever it is. It's just one of them things that I think BYU does really well. And, they've just hit a switch over the last couple of years, and they just become much more physical on defense.
Absolutely.
And made the other teams, have to put a lot of respect on that. Because if they don't, then, BYU just makes them look really silly. And I think, Steve, I think BYU might end up coming up with a special teams play,
They might, man. They got a pretty darn good special teams unit, despite the missed field goal last week from Will Farron.
Right. And the muffed punt
from Parker Kingston. That was wild.
Yeah.
Man. I did not expect that.
Did not expect that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they got a pretty darn good pass defense as well, top 35 in the country. Yeah. If you stop Eric McAllister, if you can get after the quarterback, which they do a pretty good job of that, Jack Kelly, all of that D-line, man, I think they went big, and it's not going to be close at all. I mean, I think they'll dominate from kickoff. I really do. But, who knows? That's why they play the game, baby. Yeah. Last game of the weekend in the Big 12, Kenny. We got to talk about it. I'm going to pull it up here, and then we'll look at the stats. K-State versus Oklahoma State at Boone Pickens Stadium, 11 a.m. K-State favored by 19.5. Kenny, I'm going to pull up the stats before I get your thoughts on it, because these stats, Kenny, we've been doing it all season. I've never seen stats like this, Kenny. I have never seen stats like this. Are you ready for it?
Let's see it.
K-State has the advantage everywhere. Scoring offense, scoring defense, total defense, pass defense, third down, fourth down, red zone, sacks, turnovers, penalties.
Yeah.
everywhere.
That's crazy that K-State is second in the nation when it comes to penalties. That's phenomenal. What a disciplined team. We just can't win. We just can't win games. We play a clean game, Steve, but we just can't win.
I mean,
uh,
yeah. Another thing you want to look at here. I mean, we've only given up 8 sacks all season. O-line's been doing a pretty good job. And, shout out to Avery. He gets away from it as well. He
yeah,
really does.
talented.
But
Absolutely talented.
I mean, K-State's, the numbers are not amazing. I mean, it's in the 70s and 80s basically across the board outside of scoring offense, but it's still a pretty big advantage when you're playing a team like Oklahoma State. I want to take this down here. I'll pull it back up later if anyone wants to see it, but man, I was worried about this game, but you told me, you're like, why? Why are you worried about this game? Because you said Oklahoma State is the opposite of who?
Yeah, they're like the reverse Utah. They have they give up around 30 points every time they lose. Whereas Utah, whenever they win by 32. So they're like the reverse Utah. Dude, I don't know, man. They have not won a game in the Big 12 in almost 2 years. I mean, if they lose out, it'll be 2 years straight. 18 games in the Big 12 that they didn't win a single game. That is the most absurd thing that I have, like, especially coming from Oklahoma State. That is in this era seems insane to even say. But I'm not worried about this game, Steve. I think K-State is going to go down there. They're going to take care of business. And this is sort of a monkey on the back. You need to get the monkey off your back here. Chris Kleiman hasn't won in Stillwater. Everybody knows about this. In fact, K-State hasn't won in Stillwater since 2017. And, that's a problem. Like, they've always been a great team. And that was due to the fact that their coach, Mike Gundy, always coached his teams really well. And, we just historically, despite the fact of the series being either in Stillwater or Manhattan, K-State doesn't have a really good record against Oklahoma State historically. But over the last 2 years, Oklahoma State has really just fallen off of a cliff and become one of the worst teams. This is like, it's almost as bad as K-State, in the early 90s, like late 80s, K-State, like they look bad, dude, real bad.
Pre-Bill Snyder is what you're saying.
Pre-Bill Snyder. Yeah, it's not looking good for Oklahoma State. But despite the fact, you still got to go down there, still got to play the game. Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter if K-State wins by a little or a lot, because really, like, what does that really mean? Like, it in the grand scheme of things, like, I guess, like, for a fan base, you're like, yeah, like, we went down there and took care of business, but ultimately, no one's gonna care. I mean, no one's gonna care. Just get the win and move on, right? The coaching staff doesn't seem insanely enthused about it. I think they know what it is. I think they know that they can probably just go down there and get the win. People have sleepwalked most teams that are sleepwalking through the games against Oklahoma State. The ones that even look slightly competitive, KU versus Oklahoma State, 17-point victory. I mean, KU just basically came back at the end of the game and just gave them one solid quarter, and then they just won the game, So it's like K-State's more talented than KU, and I think that they'll be able to just go out, take care of business really quickly, and move on to the next game. Just finish these next 3 games out. As K-State fans, we had higher hopes for this season. It didn't go as planned, and now you need to salvage what you can. Just win these. Try to win these next 3 games, or at least 2 out of the next 3, and get ready for next season. I think that's the hope.
Absolutely. And I want to say a couple of things about Oklahoma State before I talk about K-State. Kenny, they've had 8 different guys throw a pass this year. 8 different guys, including 5 different quarterbacks. They have played 5 different quarterbacks.
Oh my God.
They only combined the 8 guys throwing a ball, Kenny, combined 6 passing touchdowns. 6 on the whole season.
You know what, Steve? I'll sign up. I'll go try to throw. Get me in there.
rushing the ball, they only have 8 touchdowns. So they only have 14 touchdowns on this season on offense. They average 3.5 yards per carry on offense. It's bad, dude. It's really, really, really bad. Zane Flores is back though. I was a little worried about this
K-State recruit.
Yeah, I was a little worried about this game, Kenny, coming out of Texas Tech. Are we going to let that loss beat us twice? You don't want to be the team that loses to Oklahoma State. You really don't. But is there any way they could lose this game? They are terrible. They are terrible, dude.
I think, look, Steve, even if you think like, the seniors, they're like maybe not fully, like they're butt hurt. They're like, the season's over, whatever. Dude, get those young guys in there. I bet you our young guys are better than their team. So again, like, because they're hungry, right? They're not done. Like, they're like, oh, this is my chance to prove that I'm going to start next year. So I would play into that. And we already see a lot of movement on there. Austin Romaine out for the season. They're moving Des Purnell over. Don't be surprised if he comes out early, and then they just play Gabe Powers, Rex Van Wy, Asa Newsome. Their whole linebacking core. They're going to be shuffling new guys in all over the place. Everybody's going to get a chance in this game. I feel like, on the offensive side. I'd love to see some other quarterbacks in there, man. Give Avery, a little bit of a break. I think he's literally played almost every single snap of this season, which is, it's crazy to say that, but that's what the season has right now. And then, I'd like to say Devon Rice back there. I want to just see what we have. We haven't had a chance to really see our depth because we've been in so many freaking close games or had games where we had to have our starters in there. And so it's kind of been, as a fan, you're like, I want to know what's coming next, what do we have coming down the line here? So I can be excited about it. You know what I mean? And I think this is the perfect opportunity for that to happen, is to get guys who are hungry, who want to be there, who are going to have the energy. Maybe they're like, they're not like, the season's over. Maybe this is their moment to be like, yeah, I want to get some good tape out there. I want to show these coaches that I have what it takes. I want to get a scholarship here. If you're a walk-on and you're trying to prove something, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think this is going to be a lot like the West Virginia game a year ago. They had a terrible pass defense, and Oklahoma State is 128th in the country total. Scoring defense 133rd. If K-State can't exploit that, then what's going on here? I do think they will, and we'll get into our picks here and our hot takes in a minute. But I think K-State should be able to take advantage of them vertically with Jace Brown and Jerron Tibbs. And once those safeties start backing up, because they're going to be up to try to stop the run. You want to try to stop the run first, especially with a mobile quarterback like K-State, who you think will break the combine record in a year and a half in the 40-yard dash. But you want to try to stop the run first. And then once those safeties start creeping back because K-State's beating them deep, that's when you get the run game going. That's when you get your tight ends going, man. And I think this should be a lot like that game where K-State won big on the road, over 400 yards of offense, 300 passing yards. This should be K-State's easiest game of the season, man. It really should. If you're beating KU 42-17 and KU beat this team by 3 scores as well, I don't see how K-State doesn't do the same thing in this game. With that, Kenny, let's get to our score predictions and hot takes. K-State at Oklahoma State, favored by 19.5 points. What is your score prediction hot take for the game?
All right. You're going to like this, Steve. This is going to be a fun one.
Let's hear it.
Give me a 50 piece.
K-State
needs a 50. They have not scored 50 points. Give me a 50 piece.
5-0.
52 to 14. I want Quay Moss with a pick 6, and I want Lincoln Cure's first touchdown.
Gosh dang it. You stole mine.
I did? Which one?
Lincoln Cure.
Oh,
okay. Only because Matt Wells mentioned him today when they were getting interviewed by the
Oh, I haven't
media.
seen that. I haven't seen that interview. I need to see it.
Okay. Well, JB Bradley's out for the game. And we know that
Okay.
Austin Romain's out for the year. And that really
Yeah.
sucks. But they're asking him, they're like, who's going to step up in JB Bradley's spot? And he goes, of course, I'm looking at Tibbs, and Jace, but also I think Lincoln Cura is going to step up for us. So
Dude, I
that's
did
why
not know
I was
that.
going to mention both of those things. But shout out to you for doing it early, man.
Yeah, I did not. Yeah, I just I was already thinking this game is going to be Lincoln's like breakout game. Why not? Right? I mean, why not have this be the game that he plays like 40 snaps? You know what I mean? Like he's already playing like what 12, 15 snaps right now.
Yep.
I think you get him out there and you have him play the whole game. This is this is at your speed. Go out there and just play your ass off. And I think Lincoln should have a heyday. And I want him to have at least one touchdown.
Absolutely.
But I definitely want him to get a lot of targets for sure. I think he deserves it.
And we're talking about 5-star freshman tight end Lincoln Cure for K-State for sure. Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. I think Jace Brown goes wild in this game. Because if you go back to the 2017 game, Byron Pringle with 4 scores in that game, 3 on offense and 1 on special teams. Throwing him the ball, Skylar Thompson. Love that guy. One of my favorite all-time K-State quarterbacks. But everyone's talked about how Jace Brown is the best receiver since at least Byron Pringle, if not Tyler Lockett. I think Jace Brown goes for 200 plus and 3 touchdowns in this game. That's how bad their passing defense is. That's how good Jace Brown is too.
Yeah.
Defensively, I mean, Des Purnell's never coming off the field. He's not coming off the field. He's going to be everywhere, Kenny. I'm going to go 1 sack, 1 interception for Des Purnell. Big week for him. Big week for him.
Nice. Yeah, I think there should be more of an emphasis on turnovers because K-State has been very, very good at creating turnovers. I mean,
19 on the year.
They were just as good as Texas Tech. I mean, not as good, but they were in the conversation. I mean, their turnover margin was better than Texas Tech before they, played Texas Tech. So that was something. And during the game, I mean, K-State immediately turned them over. I mean, it was like, holy smokes, it could happen. So, also be on the lookout. I mean, that's why we're calling for interceptions. We might even see a lot of forced fumbles.
Oh yeah.
I mean, tackles for loss is going to be there. Again, really high. I'm excited for this game in the sense that it's going to be a fun game to watch, and it's going to be a game that I think the fans could be a little bit more relaxed and watching because I don't think there should be any worry about this game. And honestly, there's really not much really to play for anymore. I think the pressure's off now of the fan base, and we can really just kind of root for the team to just go out and play their best and not have all these like wild expectations and not have the heartbreak of not making it, when it's so close. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We kind of already dealt with the heartbreak through the course of the season, with the first 4 weeks and then, the close loss to Baylor and all this stuff. Like we've kind of already been taking the pain of the season throughout the season itself. So I'm in a way it hurts a lot. It really does. But in a way, it's not as bad as if you like were undefeated all the way up to this and you lost like 3 games in a row and then you didn't make it. Like that would hurt way worse than getting it in like bite-sized portions throughout the season. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think we should totally go in and get the job done. So
absolutely. I mean, I think K-State can play its C game and still win by 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
K-State, one last thing on it before we get done with football talk. K-State 7th in the country in turnovers gained at 19. Oklahoma State 108th. Only 8 gained. But they don't turn the ball over very much at all. They've only turned it over 9 times because their offense cannot stay on the field. So there's that. So okay. I want to talk 5 minutes about this before we get out of here, Kenny. K-State basketball is 2-0. They got a big game tonight against Cal, former K-Stater Day Ames. I think K-State is favored by 8 or 7, I want to say. Have you got a chance to watch K-State play yet this year, and your thoughts on the season so far?
Well, I mean, yeah, of course I have. And I think that the most important thing about this K-State team is that they have found an identity, which is something that like they really didn't have uh prior to, I mean, the last 2 seasons they were struggling with an identity. And the thing that was that like bothered a lot of people in particular with the last season was that we didn't have guys that really could just step up and be leaders.
Right.
And I think that what they did with the transfer portals, they finally went out and got guys that can be leaders, and then also have guys that were leaders in their old program, but then they came in and to this program and they're starting to acclimate and be more of like figuring out who's the leader here, and who could be serviceable, and who's who's going to be the more team player. And I think the ultimately the biggest thing is that this team can really make shots from everywhere. They're actually the most efficient 3-point shooting team in the nation. They're the most accurate. They make more threes, per shot than any other team. And also, here's a funny, not a funny, but more of like an interesting perspective is that when they went out and they got their transfer portal picks, none of them came from Power 4 programs.
I like that. I like that.
Actually. So what that says to me is that this coaching staff realized that it's not about the big name in the big program. It's about kids who want it and want to play on a bigger platform and are willing to work for it. And so you find the talent from these lower tier teams, you bring them to the Big 12, best conference in college basketball in the nation. It's the best conference. It's the most competitive easily. And with the best teams. And so these players that come from, G5 or, whatever, they're going to want to, I guess, prove it more. Like they're going to be more hungry. Like, oh, wow, I got more eyeballs on me now. And so I'm going to go out there. I'm going to give it my best this whole time. Not like last season where we were getting a lot of guys from these Power 4 programs and they're coming in and they think that they deserve everything handed to them and it should be their way all the time. So I just want to say it looks like this team is better suited for like a team environment and what Coach Tang wants to have his team be, rather than what it was last year. So yeah, I think he did really well. A little bit struggling on defensive end, but I think you can work with that. I think they're getting better with each game on knowing like everybody's role on defense. But obviously the best thing about this team is its ability to score. I mean, I love watching a team that can score 90 points every game. I mean, that's a lot of fun for me rather than the teams in the mid 2000 teens where it was just all defensive and you'd win games by like 60 to 48. And it's just like a defensive slugfest and you're like, oh my gosh, here we go again.
Yeah, I mean, K-State's averaging 95.5 points per game. I mean, they can really score the ball, and you already said it, man. They're number 1 in the country through 2 games. Shooting the rock from 3, they look pretty good. I'm interested to see when the defense is going to get better because, I mean, this is a game, and I've watched Cal play a couple times now, at least highlights. They're not good from 3, man. You want to, really sag off and force them to shoot those long twos because they do that a lot. But I'd rather them shoot long twos than shots underneath the basket. And that's what K-State really struggled at recently is stopping teams from getting to the hole because I don't feel like K-State's got any really good big men. But they can score. Man, they can score. And you talked about it. I actually like that none of these guys are from a big Power 5 because then you don't get the attitudes and like everything should be handed to you type of players.
Yes, the ego, right?
The ego, right? Like you want guys who are hungry, right? Nate Johnson is going to do it all for K-State this year. He's doing it all. He's shooting the ball. He's rebounding the ball. He's assisting. He's playing defense. He's doing it all, man. And I really like him.
His first game, he almost got a triple double.
Right.
Like it's just like, whoa, okay, awesome. Like, I mean, this guy, and it looked like he almost like sleepwalked through that. And then also PJ Haggerty. I mean, he can give you,
him. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he's got like he can give you 27 points, and it didn't even feel like he was even on the court. It's just sleepwalks through these games, and he just ends up having like almost 30 points a game. It's just incredible, like how effortless this team. And then also shout out to David Castillo, guy that came in from last year, coming back, and he looks so much better. And dude, that performance, and you witnessed it firsthand. I mean, you were there.
I was there.
5 threes in not in
Shout
a row,
out my
but
wife. Shout out my wife for getting the tickets.
yeah,
Sideline.
that was side court seats. I mean, dude, that's legit. Right behind the man himself, Gene Taylor. But yeah, so being able to witness David Castillo's basically 5 for 5 from beyond the arc. I mean, that's incredible stuff right there. And so, just again, it's fun watching this team really put the ball in the hoop. Like it's way better than those old Bruce Weber teams where it's just all like defense and you're just like, oh my god, I can't take it anymore. So
yeah,
it's a good time. I hope that they win tonight. Steve, you're going to be out there. You're going to be out there with your mom. That's awesome.
I am. Yeah, and both teams have 5 guys that are averaging in double figures in the game, and K-State has got to protect the rim because 3 out of those 5 for California are forwards. I think they're good. I don't think they're great. Projected score is 85-79. K-State wins. I'm going to give my score now. I'm going to go 88-78. K-State wins by 10.
Yo, I'm going to say give me 90 again. Like they've been consistently scoring 90, so give me 94. I might say it might be close. Like 94-90.
I mean, as long as K-State wins, that's all I care about. This is last thing I want to say about this game before we get out of here. This is a game K-State needs to win. Yeah. And it would be really good for the program and fan base if K-State could win going away, because this is a game K-State has been losing for the last couple of years, ever since, the first year where K-State was really good with Jerome Tang. Ever since then, these are the games K-State has been losing. You win this game, you're feeling pretty good going into Mississippi State, going into Indiana, going into Creighton, Seton Hall, all of that. You lose this game, the fan base kind of feels like it's already checked out. You know what I mean? This is a game K-State needs to win, and they need to win big, in my opinion.
Steve, I'm gonna point you to something that's really crazy. Coincidence, right?
I already know what it is, but go ahead.
Yeah, this game last year, this exact day, game number and everything, LSU, Cam Carter, former K-State player,
came in and dropped 20.
They came in, dropped 20, won the game. This year, Cal, former K-State player, Data Ames, coming in. It does make you worry about it a little bit. Thursday game, third game of the season. But I think this team is different. I think this team is built different. I agree. Coaching staff figured something out in the offseason. And I think it's time to right this ship. I think Coach Tang, he got ahead of the program and he realized what he needed to do. I think he made the correct changes. I think he went out and got the right players this time. And I think they're already starting off on the right foot. I agree. K-State's going to be a contending team in the Big 12. I really do think they're not getting much respect right now. And that's due to the fact that there's monster teams in the Big 12.
Oh, yeah.
But I will not be surprised if K-State makes a big splash in this year's season of basketball. I am very, very, I even said I was excited before they even started conference, but I'm like, just listening to the coaches, how they were talking, Driscoll is really, really a fun guy to listen to. So anyway, all that being said, I'm excited. And I can't wait to, I'm going to end up going to bed, waking up to the result of the game because I got to work very, very late tonight or early in the morning, depending on who you are. But yeah,
absolutely. You said about everything I wanted to say. I'll just add just one more thing before we get out of here. One of my students, Matthew Gray. What's going on, man? Yeah, I can't wait for tomorrow too, man. Should be a good time. Okay. Last thing, Data Ames, you got to stop him. He made 6 threes in their last game. He's averaging 22 per game. He goes as California goes as he goes. If you can stop him, I think you can stop Cal. I mean, he's emerged into the player that K-State hoped he would be. We just hoped it would be in purple, not for another team, right? And, you talked about David Castillo. I think he's already ahead of schedule in terms of where my expectations were for him going into the season. He scored 19 last week, 5 for 5 from 3. I mean, if he can duplicate anything close to that a couple more times this season, K-State should be very, very, very dangerous. And if they can get 10 points from Kamari McGriff, which is what they got last time, or that's actually what he's averaging, I think K-State should be pretty good. I think this should be pretty good.
Yeah, the development of David Castillo already is just you're right. He's ahead of schedule, and it's just the coaching staff has done an amazing job with it. He looks like a totally different player than he did last year, and
Absolutely.
just the confidence and just his physical appearance. Honestly, he looks like a grown man out there. It's wild.
He doesn't look 18 anymore. That is
no, he does. He definitely does not. But it looks good on him, right? I mean, he wears it well. He filled out a lot, and he looks like a baller out there, man. He really does kind of give me that the build of a Marquise Noel a little bit, just a little different look, but the build is pretty similar. So anyway,
agreed.
So yeah, that's all I got, and I got to get out here pretty soon. You got to get out of here pretty soon because
I do.
You got a game to go to, man.
Yep. Well, this has been fun, guys. We will be back Sunday night to go over our Big 12 power rankings post week 12. Come in, hang out with us, talk a little trash, give your rankings as well, because we'll be doing that as well.
Yes.
And pretty soon after the football season, we'll jump into basketball, do our weekly power rankings there. Kenny, I think this is there's only one last thing to say, man.
Yes. Okay. Again, guys, shout out to CR Grand as our very first channel member. If you want to follow his lead, please go ahead and check out the joining the members, joining the nation. Okay. CR Grand got a whole entire, segment where we glazed him for about 5 minutes, telling him all these wonderful things. If you guys want that to happen to you, totally go ahead and hit the join button. If not, if you want to just, do it the free way, I guess, doesn't hurt anybody. Just hit the subscribe button, like the channel, comment, leave a comment, whatever it is you want to do. We appreciate it. And with that being said, guys, we appreciate it. Go Big 12 and go Cats.
Go Cats, baby.